Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the preview for Hull City versus Sunderland. First home game back after the World Cup. Looking forward to it. 2 home games in a row over the next 10 days. Yeah, looking forward to this one. So after this one then, tomorrow, the next game is on Boxing Day. That's Monday the 26th this year. Then we play on Thursday. No, we play on Friday the 30th. And then on Monday the 2nd against Birmingham and Wigan, respectively. So, what I'll say is, first of all, there is a reason why this stream is a little bit later on than usual today. That is because I wanted to watch the last part of Hull City's docu-series that they've done to commemorate 20 years at the MKM Stadium. It was today. It was about Hull City 2, Cardiff City 2 in 2013. And the other two, they were immaculately shot. The media team have done such a good job with those. But in my younger years, the first one was about Hull City 4, Watford 1, 6-1 on aggregate. That was in 2008, so I was 2 years old. Then Bristol City at home, the 3-0 win. I think that was 2003. No, Bristol Rovers at home, sorry. No, it was 2004. So I was -2 at that point. So I don't have recollections of those 2 games. But Cardiff is one of my very, very earliest footballing memories. Sat in the South Stand watching that game was simply, it's one of the memories that will stand out from my childhood. First going to City games, sort of late 2012, early 2013 time, and being around long enough to check, to get, to get myself fully immersed into the football club. And hang on, I'm gonna make a camera just there. We go. Getting myself so immersed into the football club and being at that game. That's one of my earliest footballing memories, and there was a reason I wanted to watch that at the earliest possible opportunity, because it was quite simply just incredible. That day, the game, I sort of half remember it, but that wait in the stands afterwards, seeing Nick Proschwitz miss that penalty, then Cardiff going right up the other end and scoring one, and then that 15-minute wait after the game to see if we'd gone up, stood waiting in the South Stand. Those 15 minutes especially are 15 minutes of nervousness and waiting that I will never forget. And I wanted to watch that as soon as possible. And delaying the stream meant some of you guys got the chance to watch it immediately as well. So it's win-win. But now I'll go to chat. It is going to be a cracking attendance, Keiki. You're right. 17,000 already sold by Wednesday. Hello, REK, Republic, Rep Republic, whichever one it is. Will's confident. Am I confident? You know what? I am confident. Max, how you doing, pal? All right. I am going, but I'm not going early because it's going to be freezing cold up until Monday, and I'm not an idiot. So I'm not going early. Apologies if you are thinking of going early and meeting the players, by the way, but you're an absolute fool if you go when it's this cold. because as I saw Coxie say, it's bloody freezing. It's horrendous. So I'm not going early again for this game. I'm not going early on Boxing Day either because it's Boxing Day. And then I won't be going early against Fulham either because I've got Tilly coming with me. And it's kind of a bit unfair just to sort of tell her to make a run with there. So we'll keep that one quiet. Ruben, how are you? I'll check my Twitter DMs after I've finished the stream. It's going to be a good game tomorrow. Josh has already got his FA Cup ticket secured. Lovely jubbly. Cynic to start, perhaps. I saw someone else say that Ozan to start, maybe. Evening Ashley. 20 years at home. There's nothing really special about it because it's just last year's unused stock with a logo printed on the back. So I'm not really too fussed. There might be some chip spice left. Don't know. I haven't ignored you, mate. I was just making my way through chat as it was. Here's a fool. I'm walking an hour to the game purely by choice. Wow. Wow, you're going to be there at 11? My God. I've been there at 11 o'clock before. I went at 11 o'clock so I could make sure I met Shotter on his first game. But, my Lord. You're going at 11. You've just said the exact same thing. They mean the same thing in my head anyway. You've got an eye appointment, so you're leaving the house at 11, going to your appointment, then going to the game. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Could Cynic play number 10? Perhaps. That might be an idea. But we've mentioned Pelkas. Someone mentioned Pelkas in there. So we're going to have a look at team news now, where Oscar Estupinian is available for selection after the end of his suspension. Demetrius Pelkas will be out for around 10 to 12 weeks after picking up knee ligament damage early on versus Watford. However, quite luckily, he doesn't need surgery, so he can crack straight on with his rehab. Salahuddin Ulad Mhand, groin or pelvis problem, has returned to Arsenal, his parent club, for treatment. We don't know how long he's going to be there for. Alias Sayadmanesh and Benjamin Tete, both hamstring, and Adama Traore, hamstring / Achilles, are all on track for sort of mid to late January returns. Maybe for Traore, early Feb, and all of them travel to Turkey during the break. And like it says there, they are on track for mid to late January returns. James Scott, Traore, Tete, and Josh Emmanuel all remain unregistered. The registration window reopens on the 1st of January. Von Kovilt, knee, and Josh Emmanuel, with his illness, remain unavailable. That's the news. That's the news. Right, let's have a look back at chat. Oscar and Cynic to score 2-0 to City. I shall talk to you soon, Max. Farewell. Reckon Vale should have a chance as an attacking mid, although I don't know how he was overall for the under-21s. When I watched the under-21s, Harvey Vale was... The blurry camera there gives quite a good indication as to what he was like. Sunderland not to score, Will. Ambitious. We were solid defensively. Chloe went to the quiz night and Ali was there. Yeah, I saw on Twitter that Ali said he'd be fit in a week. I think that means, though, that's when he's back in full training. And, you give him sort of, 3 weeks in training. And I think, hang on, no one can take me seriously when I've got an out of focus camera. Hello. Come on, focus on me. Focus, come on. Just focus. How hard is it? Come on! Oh my god. New camera for Christmas. The new camera. It's the webcam. It's a webcam. I am getting a new camera for Christmas, but it doesn't sort of sync up in the same way. But once I'll have another look back through chat once it's. Oh, there we go. Right, okay. Was he playing as a cam or as a winger? Let's have another look. Who do I think will be going in January? Any shocks? Now, if you think we did the maths on this. Well, I said I did the maths on this live with you last week, and I came to the conclusion that we still need to register Tete and Traore there. Plus, we are front runners at the moment to get Malcolm Ebiowei in from Crystal Palace. Worked with Liam Rosenior before at Derby. Randall Williams has been told he can find a new club. Andy Cannon has already gone. James Scott looks also like he's on his way out. Perhaps Josh Emmanuel might leave. Plus, then there's Vale and Xavier Simons who haven't played, and Rosenior's had meetings with Chelsea on that. But Cannon leaving doesn't free up any room in registration spots. Neither does James Scott. Neither does Josh Emmanuel. If only Williams, Vale and Simons left, we would have 3 new registration spots. Traore, Tete, Ebiowei, and then maybe 1 or 2 others. So we would fill the 25 there, but the squad would still be pretty huge when you take into account the under-21 players as well. Plus Salah, plus Pelkas injured. So I think out of the rest of the squad, the most likely ones to go would be Tyler Smith and Callum Elder. Elder because he's not playing, and Tyler Smith because he's third choice in a position we only play with 1 in. In that, he's probably most dispensable. But that's my opinion. Sunderland will be a tough game. They've given it a good go this season. Seem to play better away from home. Also hear that Ross Stewart is back for them. Sunderland win 2-1. It's the quiz night 2. Quiz night was fun, but the Google squad at the back. God. The Google squad at the back. Figueiredo needs to go. He's only just signed. Wonder whether Senior ain't keen on Fleming. Surely not a move away from. Yeah, he won't be moving away. We need Bellingham in January. Evening, Marcus. Amad Diallo will be going. We're going to be a dangerous attacker tomorrow, so I'll be getting Greaves at the back. Yeah, but does Greaves have the pace to keep up with him that maybe Fleming or Elder might have? That's a question. But Sunderland, there's a Sunderland fan teacher at my sixth form / school, and I asked him to give me the lowdown on Sunderland, and he said that Dan Ballard played 60 minutes for the under-21s in midweek in his recovery. Ross Stewart is the only one they're sort of sweating about. They think Ballard will be fine, but Stewart is one that they're sort of sweating. They're sweating on his fitness. And then he also said that away from home, Sunderland like to sort of hit teams on the counter, and they have quite an intense press from the front. And to which I said, Jones and Figueiredo aren't exactly comfortable on the ball, passing out from the back, and we kind of want to control games a little bit more now. So that's that could play a little bit more into Sunderland's hands. Will Tufan be tempted to a move? I don't think so. And don't forget Pritchard. I totally agree. Totally agree. Let's get making some progress through the segments then. Ref watch today. We've got Gavin Ward, who's terrible as the main man. Sam Lewis and is it Boofinder Gill? Or is it Boopinder Gill or Hoopinder Gill? As the two linos, and Dean Whitestone, another terrible referee. Luckily, only this time is the fourth official. On to stats. I've seen that there's 4 new comments in chat. We'll have a quick look at them after stats. So Watford, it was quite even, to be fair. They had a couple more shots, which does sound about right. But in general, possession, it's quite an even split. So I think that's a fair reflection of how the game went. And I think a draw was the right result. Right. Chat is back. I'd be getting Sean. Yeah, Sean, keep him in. Sean had a... Yeah, if McLaughlin dropped all riot. Yeah, he had a really good game, didn't he, Sean McLaughlin? He's really comfortable with the ball at his feet. And his only issue is that he's a left-footed centre-back and Jacob Greaves exists. And it's very hard to dislodge him because he's young, he's English, he's left-footed, and he's highly rated, and he's homegrown. Those 4 things mean it's very difficult to dislodge Greavesy unless he's shuffled out to left-back. My son was playing blackjack with Cynic, Tufan, and Elder. Interesting. Ooh. Very nice. We'll move on to head-to-head, where if we look at Sunderland, usually they line up in a 4-2-3-1 sort of system under Tony Mowbray. And in their last game, Anthony Patterson started in goal, with the back 4 being made up of Lyndon Gooch at right back, with Luke O'Nien as well dropping in at centre-back, alongside Danny Batt and Aji Elise on loan from West Ham at left back. Former Tiger Corey Evans is their captain, I believe, and he started in the last game alongside Dan Neil, who the Sunderland fan teacher at my school described as someone who he thinks is Jude Bellingham, but he isn't. Decent young player in his own right, but a little bit sort of up there. Then on the right, they had Amad Diallo on loan from Man United. On the left was Elliot Embleton, with Alex Pritchard behind Ellis Sims, but Ross Stewart may well be back, as may Dan Ballard, which could shake up the makeup of that Sunderland side a little bit. Patrick Roberts on the bench. Jack Clark, formerly of Leeds and Tottenham, as well, is a tricky customer. Although I don't think he's worth, the 15 million that it was reported Sunderland paid for him. But still a decent player. Ingram or Baxter tomorrow? Keiki says stick with Ingram. Ingram should start after an amazing performance. We'll find out what I think later on in the stream. You have to stay watching for that sort of thing. But the only issue with Ingram is he doesn't like the ball. And Tim Lottatala is our best goalie with the ball at his feet. For me, the younger goalies are easier to mould into a new system. That's why Baxter's enjoying learning it so much. And I think when Cartwright comes back next season, and he's been away with the team in Turkey, he's back at Peterborough now after coming back here to recover from injuries. I think Cartwright will really, really take to it, as will Lottatala. And those two are the future. And I think it's because of those two that I don't think Nathan Baxter will be sticking around. I don't think we'll make use of that to buy option in his loan. My cousin said Ingram makes the most mistakes, but Baxter's mistakes, yeah, I don't know what it is with Baxter, because they're not glaring errors. They're just little and consistent sort of just things he probably doesn't know that he's doing. but as fans, it sort of frustrates us a little bit. And what I will say on that note is, whenever we start passing the ball about in our own half, don't stand up and just start immediately shouting forward like a dick tomorrow. It's a new style of football. The players enjoy it. The players know they've got an identity now. Cyrus Christie said it. It's no disrespect to Shota, but he said that the players didn't feel like they had an identity. He felt like at the start, all the players were just sort of playing how they knew how to play, and it worked for a little bit. But when Ali and Tete got injured, noticeably things changed. And it didn't cut and it didn't work. Now they have an identity, they have a style of football, and they've gelled together. Rosenior says now it's a good group, it's a strong group. It's a very big group, but it's a strong group. So just don't be idiots. Don't be idiots, please. Because it frustrates me so much when people go, come on, get it forward. We want to play to an identity. We want to play to an identity. Let the players play that way, because Rosenior thinks it will work, and that's his philosophy. I don't mind the passing around the back, but they tend to sometimes do it a bit too long. Yeah, that I understand. But just immediately, as soon as they've played 3 passes, they can go on, get forward. That doesn't work in modern football. You can't just lump it up to the big man for 90 minutes. You can bring a big man on and change tactic. That's why Tete might be good as a target man coming off the bench against Bristol City on the opening day of the season. That was his best role. That's where he was so good. But it's not all about just humping it long. I get it if we're trying to relieve pressure late in the game, we're hanging on to a lead. That's fair. But in 10th minute, it's 0-0. You don't need to stand up and shout, get it forward. That has no place in modern football. And that sort of ideology of playing football, just get it out. Get it out. Need to play to our strengths. Gaffer should know now what they are and encourage them. Exactly. And the strengths Rosenior has picked out is passing out from the back and creating from deep. Easy. Rant over. Only thing about Christian Seri getting old. Yeah, it's experience, though. You need championship experience. They've both got that. Jailings in January. I'm not even going to answer that question, Marcus. I'm not even going to answer that question. Current form for Sunderland, if you ignore that Al-Shabaab game, we'll go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A 2-0 win over Huddersfield, a 1-0 defeat to Cardiff, win over Birmingham, then they beat Millwall and lost to West Brom since they returned from the World Cup, having a game in hand there. So they're doing pretty well. As for us, if, again, you take out the Başakşehir and the Trabzonspor games, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back to Middlesbrough, 3-1 defeat, then 0-0 draw against Millwall, win over Cardiff, defeat against Reading, then 0-0 draw to Watford as well. 2 0-0 draws, yes, but 2 0-0 draws against very, very tough places to go. And on that note, we'll have a quick little glance at the league table, where we're in 21st, and a win would do us quite nicely to push us just ever so slightly away from this bottom 3 pack. Because we'd be on 28 points. If results go our way, we could be, a minimum about 17th. So we need to do the job. Home form is a problem, but home form is the problem. But Rosenior said, treat it as a new season. I don't know where I sort of just stopped and forgot what I was saying. But Rosenior said, treat it as a new season. And I hope the squad do that as well. think we should let Alfie Jones go if needed in terms of squad spaces. Oh, that's interesting. We have got quite a wealth of young centre-backs, though, coming through. Andy Smith, Leake, Leckie, Alfie Taylor. We've got a lot of decent young defenders. Charlton, Nixon at right back, Matty Jacob at left back in the under-21s. So I think we're going to see Greaves at left back more than centre back. Maybe. But really, should Reading have been a loss? No, it should have. I think we should have won that, or at least got a point. That's because Figs is awful when Greaves in the centre of defence in response to no offence to Tobias when we're 2-1 down at Middlesbrough, he kept kicking it to Baxter. Because Figs is awful. Yeah, the disrespect to Figs in the live is arguably the greatest centre-back Hull have had since Reece back. Love Reece. Are you going to Wigan or Birmingham? I'm doing Wigan. I can't do Birmingham because of the date it's on. But I am doing Wigan. I'll be going in car for that one with my dad. Jacob is great at the back. His dad was a goal machine. Thinks St. Greaves will turn into a bit of his dad firing the goals. But once he's got that first one, I think it's going to be difficult for him to stop him. And he's got that first. He's got those first couple now. Hopefully, he's on a bit of a roll. And he made Marcus go bald. So yeah, he made you bald, Marcus. I'd only consider letting Jones go if a player of the same stature as Deshaun Bernard came in. Perhaps I'm going to Wigan as well. I'm interested to know which centre-back do you think we should sign in Jan? Well, like Ashley said, either Deshaun or someone experienced with know-how of the Championship. Because Elphick came in under Nigel Adkins in 2018-19 and made Jordi de Weiss and Reece Burke so much better that when he left and was recalled by Aston Villa in the January, those two were completely different players. And we maybe need that to help Greavesy develop and maybe help McLaughlin, Jones and Figueiredo along in terms of adapting to Rosenior's system. Interesting comment by Slavan Bilic saying we're a frustrating team but didn't look threatening. Yeah, I see it. I totally see it. But at the end of the day, our top scorer is Oscar Estupinian. Rosenior's had him on the pitch for half an hour. Of course, we're not going to look threatening without him. Your plans on meet and greet. Marcus, I see your mother enough. I see your mother. I see your mother quite a lot, mate. In fact, I see your mother pretty much every time I see you. So I don't think she's met me before, is what I'm trying to say, Marcus. Do I like the formation? Yes, I do like the formation. I think it's nice having the double pivot of Woods and Seri. I think that works really effectively in terms of them dropping deep and carrying the ball further up. I like the role Regan Slater's got, where he can basically play anywhere, and Doherty can do the same when he's on the pitch. Pelkas was really effective through the middle when he was playing there until he was injured. And I think if we get Oscar the service and when Ali and Tete are back, we're balling. We're totally balling. And Ozan Tufan looks fitter than ever. So we'll go to this view around the grounds finally then on Championship Matchday 23. Birmingham versus Reading kicks off in 23 seconds. Then tomorrow, all 3 o'clock kickoffs, these ones. Cardiff play Blackpool, Bristol City versus Stoke City, us versus Sunderland, Coventry City versus Swansea City, Preston North End versus Queen's Park Rangers, Burnley versus Middlesbrough, Huddersfield versus Watford, and West Brom versus Rotherham. And then the 5:30 kickoff in the Championship tomorrow is Norwich versus Blackburn. Monday game. Was Luton Sunday? Yeah, I think Luton was Sunday, but it got postponed because Kenilworth Road's pitch is covered in snow and it's probably frozen under. And then on Monday, 8 o'clock kickoff is Wigan versus Sheffield United. Yeah. Thoughts on Wood's fight against Watford? My God. Might get Ali on the back of my shirt when he comes back if he does well. Well, he's going to come back and he's going to do well. I think if we were to use the same formation England used in the World Cup, we could be threatening. Well, we are. The central midfielders are just arranged in a different way. It's still a 4-3-3, but instead of using the instead of having one holding mid, a box to box, and a more advanced one, we've got two holders, an attacking one, and just someone else somewhere on the pitch who has the license to run and do what they want. It's off topic, but I always see you when you're scared. Don't be scared, mate. I don't bite unless we're losing 8-0. We know how that ends out. Shout out to Woods and the skill he showed in behind the scenes at Watford of him doing keeping up with chewing gum. Yeah, God. What Woods fight? Oh, he got floored and then just started to sort of half stand up to someone, but it was really pathetic. Seri's underrated. His passing and off the ball movement. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Memorable match. This one is memorable. FA Cup quarter-final in March 2014. We beat Sunderland 3-0 at what was then the KC Stadium in front of 20,047 people. It took 68 minutes for the scoring to open, but Curtis Davies did it with this celebration, third in as many games. And then 4 minutes later, David Myler doubled the lead against his old club. And then 5 minutes after that, Matty Fry at the start of our FA Cup run finished it off. Our team that day was Alan McGregor in goal. And the back, it'd have been a back four, wouldn't it? Of Liam Rossigna, James Chester, Curtis Davis, and Maynor Figueroa. It would have been Ahmed El Mohammadi on the right, Sonny Aluko on the left, with David Myler and Tom Huddleston in the centre of midfield. And then up top would have been Yannick Sagbo and Matty Fryer. The bench was Steve Harper, the goalkeeper, Alex Bruce, Robert Corran, George Boyd, Abdullah Faye, Stephen Quinn, and Connor Henderson. And then Sunderland's team, who you might recognise in there, that Ustari, we never heard anything about him after this game. Same could be said for Virginie. John O'Shea's a big name, as is Phil Bardsley. Lee Catamol, of course. Emmanuel Giaccherini went on to have a pretty decent career. Last time I heard about him, he was at Napoli. Seb Larson went on to play for Hull City. Jack Colback, we faced him last season at Forest. Stephen Fletcher, big name. Ki Sung Young, he had a pretty distinguished Premier League career. We'll gloss over Adam Johnson. Vito Manone, former City player. Liam Bridcut, now at Blackpool. Fabio Barini, formerly at Liverpool, of course. And yeah, like I said, we'll gloss over Adam Johnson. We'll just let that sit for a second. Seri always looks class. Then he has that moment where he gets caught on the ball in front of our defence. But yeah, he always does, doesn't he? Tom Huddleston, what a legend. I love how we've seen both Sheffield clubs flying down Wembley Way. Of course, when Sherry shoots, it can be scary. People saying Seri has been badder off the heads. Totally. Train Seri and Alfie to stop losing possession to attackers. This will save us a lot of goals against. Has it ever really led to goals, though? Not that I can remember. Them giving the ball away and then an opponent immediately scoring from that. The only ones I can remember, Seri in pre-season, which doesn't really count, and Figueiredo dropping 2 clangers at Swansea. Remember the penalty Huddleston conceded against Forest? Yeah, God. Wow. And then last time out against Sunderland, the third of 3 draws against these guys that season in our League One promotion season. The first came in the Carabao Cup opening round where we beat them on penalties. Then I believe it was a 1-1 draw at the Stadium of Light. And then a 2-2 draw at the MKM. No, it was the K-Com that season still, wasn't it? We could have gone up had we won this game and other things went our way. But it was always unlikely, and it was always more likely we'd get it done at Lincoln on the Saturday following this game. And we did it then. It was a 2-2 draw on the night. Josh McGuinness scored twice for us, and we had to come from behind twice to secure a 2-2 draw. Our team that day was Matt Ingram in goal. Back four was Louis Coyle, Alfie Jones, Jacob Greaves, and Callum Elder. Midfield three was Regan Slater, George Honeyman, and Greg Doherty, with Malik Wilkes on the right, Keane Lewis Potter on the left, and Josh McGuinness leading the line. Our bench was George Long, Reece Burke, Richie Smallwood, Tom Eaves, Josh Emmanuel, Dan Crowley, and Gavin White, with Grant McCann in charge. Sunderland side, Lee Johnson in charge. Then names Charlie Wyke now at Wigan, Lyndon Gooch still there, Max Power, I think he's at Wigan now as well. 09 still there. Then off the bench, Jack Diamond's out on loan at the minute. And Anthony Patterson there, now their number one goalkeeper after Lee Burge did one. How he got in League One Team of the Season that year, by the way, I have absolutely no idea, because he was totally atrocious. He never looked confident when he had the ball, would be it in his hands or at his feet, ever. And then our last five against Sunderland, these three are the most representative ones. The three draws in our League One season. But then the last five, we've only lost once to them, but only won once as well. It was a 1-1 draw in September 2017. That was a David Myler come on and steal the show sort of game to rescue us. Then we lost 1-0 at the Stadium of Light that season in the January. And then, then the three draws in our League One title winning year. Nice. Where have we got to? The game versus Leicester was when Seri lost it and we conceded straight after. Yeah. While Reading conceded two within 2 minutes. God. MKM, KC, or KCOM, which do you prefer? KC, nostalgic. Ooh. Oh, that's such a tough question. See, I'm used to calling it the MKM now, but it does still feel right to call it the KC or the KCOM. But it hasn't been the KC for 6 years. Oh, man. Oh, I don't know. Oh, that's such a good question, but I don't know. MKM seems more menacing. Joe, do you reckon if we inquired about Keenan's availability for a loan for the rest of the season, would be a good idea? He doesn't play at Brentford. Now, had we still had like Shotter in charge, I'd have said yes. But now we're getting players back fit, and we've got Liam Rosenior, and he's moulding this team a little bit. I think I think now there's less sort of space for him to be shoehorned straight back in. Like he would have been if Shotter was still in charge, perhaps. But I don't know. It's maybe something the club could explore. But I think Ajun said in the press conference at the start of the season, where he was with Shotter and the two new signings, he sort of teased that they were bringing in someone else. He said young, and they're going to be a good player. So he sort of said, young, fast, good player. We're signing Keno again. Then I just said, no, we wish him the best. So I think that door has been closed for the time being. Will Ajun be in the Botanic tomorrow? Don't know. Seen that Brentford player, Dave Asholu. We were after most of the summer. He ended up burning. Yeah, dodged a bullet. Definitely dodged a bullet. Will I visit Turkey this summer? Perhaps. I perhaps might, because I've been to Turkey before. I went to Ishmael. But I might be going again. But there's so many nice places in the world that I want to explore and tick off and say I loved it there. I've done Spain with the Canaries. I've done Turkey. I'd quite like to tick off Cyprus or maybe Greece or Portugal perhaps, or somewhere like Italy maybe. But there are, and I'd love to go back to Turkey. I'd absolutely love to go to Turkey again. By the way, is it true English? I don't know what you mean by that, Ishak. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Unpopular opinion, Louis Coyle over Cyrus Christie. I think there you're just putting your fishing line out, Connor, and trying to wheel a couple of people in. And my dad told me that Rosie and Adjun are off to the World Cup final after tomorrow's match. Fair. Tan's been out there all month, so it wouldn't surprise me. Louis Coyle and Christie are better at different things. Christie offers so much more than Coyle. See, I love Louis, but it's just not in his nature to go at players. And Cyrus is so much more well-rounded and good at everything than Louis is, in my opinion. But let's move on. Shared shares. There's a lot of players to pick from for Sunderland. And I've decided on Paul McShane. So, he was with Sunderland from 2007 through to 2009. In 25 appearances, he didn't play. He first joined Hull City in 2008 on loan from Sunderland. The deal was then made permanent, and he was with us until 2015. In 136 appearances, he scored 5 times. Now, moving on to my predicted 11 very, very quickly. Just hold on. I love Louis, but recently he wasn't running. Yeah, Christie's just brilliant. Always believe that something awesome happens. I'm not quite sure what you mean. I'm so sorry. What's on your Christmas list, mate? Myself, I'd like a tangerine. I'm pretty sure I've had this discussion, Marcus. I'm getting a camera and just a load of clothes. But yeah, I'm getting a camera, but it doesn't fix my focus problems that sometimes occur with that one there. Kind of unpopular opinion, Cyrus should play a right wing. But what's the need when we're going to have Ali back? Sinek can play there. Pelkas can play there when fit. Doherty's proved he can play there in recent weeks. We've still got Harvey Vale. Tete can play on the wing. So I don't see the need personally. To your tangerine comment, Marcus Ashley said a Blackpool player. Nice. Right then, on to my predicted team then. In Liam Rosenior's 4-3-3 formation in goal, I think Matt Ingram will remain. A right back with Cyrus Christie. Centre backs Jones and McLaughlin. Left back Jacob Reeves, the captain. Central midfield Ryan Woods, Jean-Michael Seri and Regan Slater. On the right, Ryan Longman. On the left, Durkan Sinek, I think, will come in. And up top, Oscar Estupinian. The bench, Nathan Baxter, Louis Coyle, Tobias Figueiredo, Ozan Tufan, Greg Doherty, Brandon Fleming, and Tyler Smith. So to recap, my predicted 11 is Ingram in goal. Then the right back is Cyrus Christie. 2 centre back. Well, the back 5 unchanged, as are the first 2 as are all 3 centre mids. Longman, I think, will remain just repositioned from being through the middle in recent weeks. He was out on the right against Watford. I think he'll stay out on the right. On the left, I think Sinek will come in place of Pelkas, and Estupinian will come in place of Tyler Smith. On the bench, Baxter, I think, will remain sub-goalie. Coyle, Figueiredo, Tufan, Doherty, Fleming, and Tyler Smith. That's that. That's that. Longman or Sinek on the wing? I'd choose Sinek. Yeah, I'd pick Sinek over Longman. But I think Longman does offer us something as well. Forgot we had Harvey Vale, to be fair. In my opinion, Vale's very underrated. Under 21s, I've only seen him play for the under 21s once. And he was... subpar, let's say. Xavier Simons was a lot more impressive than he was, is what I'll say to that. Marcus, I'm not going to put that comment on screen because it's not of the nature I want to push. And how does... First of all, she plays for Aston Villa. And second of all, I don't see how that links to a tangerine. Right then, move on. Predicted score, I think we'll win 2-1. I think Oscar will get back in with a goal, and I think Durkan Sinek will score as well. So I'm pretty optimistic. I'm pretty optimistic. I'll see you for a matchday vlog tomorrow, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in to the stream. And yeah, that's it. So thank you for watching. Take care and goodbye.